Out of all the articles that you've written, which one are you most proud of and why?
I would name two. One is one I wrote a couple months ago called The Three Sides of Risk, which was about a story of two friends, two really good friends who I grew up with skiing, who were killed in an avalanche, and I was going to with them the day that they died. I kind of told that whole story. And the other was a couple years ago, I wrote an article about I grew up with and still have a fairly chronic stutter when I talk. I was able to overcome it. I write about how I was able to overcome it. Not 100%. I still stutter. But those two were important to me because they were very personal and they were very challenging times and still are. And I think so much of what happens online, whether it's Instagram or blogs, is people putting forth innocently this curated highlights of their life. On blogs, it's look how smart I am. On Instagram, it's look how beautiful I am. Look how much fun I'm having. And so much of it is just BS because everyone's struggling in life. Everyone's got problems. Everyone's got issues. Everyone's got insecurities. Everyone's been through rough patches that never get talked about. And when you write about challenging times in your life, growing up with a speech disability, being next to your two best friends when they die, when you write about these times, I think people appreciate the honesty because they're yearning for it because everything else they see on life is this curated highlights reel. So I think the articles did well because of that. And they just meant a lot to me because they were painful periods that I kind of had compartmentalized in my life. Don't want to think about it that much. Don't want to talk about it. Whereas if you just open yourself up and throw it all on the paper, it actually felt really good.
Yeah. The two things that stick out from both of them was you in the one about your stutter, you watching Barry speak at a
Yep.
conference, wondering how you could ever do that, and then the way that you sort of end that essay talking about how you did that, and then that sort of has this beautiful circular cyclical narrative that I really appreciated. And then with the three sides of risk, there's one line where it's so beautiful. I think it's like the phone rings, and you sort of say that your friends had died, but nobody actually said it overtly. And I
Yes.
forget exactly what you said, but it was so beautiful, man.
So, during this period where my friends were missing, we didn't know what happened to them yet. One of their mothers called me and said, Morgan, Brian didn't show up for work today. Do you know where he is? And I told his mom the truth. Yes, we skied out of bounds this morning. I was gonna. He and Brendan did it again. I was gonna pick them up on the road, but they never showed up, and I have not seen them since. And she said, "Oh my God," and hung up the phone. And I think that was the moment where both of us, I don't want to speak for her, but I assume, and it was definitely true for me, we both pieced together what happened. We both pieced together that they skied out of bounds, which is a very dangerous thing to do under those conditions where the avalanche risk was so high, and no one had seen them since. It was like, let's connect the dots here. No one wanted to see that. Of course, you don't know, you don't want to jump conclusions, but I remember at the end of that phone call, just kind of sitting quietly and being I didn't even want to say it in my head, but I think I just felt it. It was like you can figure out what happened.